Emily of New Moon. The Tansy Patch. The Tansy Patch was east of the disappointed house, between the Blair Water and the sand dunes. Most people considered it a bare, lonely, neglected place, but Emily thought it was fascinating. The little clap-boarded house topped a small hill, over which tansy grew in a hard, flaunting, aromatic luxuriance, rising steeply and abruptly from a main road. A straggling rail fence, almost smothered in wild rosebushes, bounded the domain, and a sagging, ill-used little gate gave ingress from the road. Stones were let into the side of the hill for steps up to the front door. Behind the house was a tumble-down little barn and a field of flowering buckwheat, creamy green, sloping down to the Blair Water. In front was a crazy veranda, around was a brilliant band of red poppies held up their enchanted cups. Teddy was unfeignedly glad to see them, and they had a happy afternoon together. There was some color in Teddy's clear olive skin when it ended, and his dark blue eyes were brighter. Mrs. Kent took in the signs greedily and asked the girls to come back, with an eagerness that was yet not cordiality, but they had found the Tansy Patch a charming place and were glad to go again. For the rest of the vacation, there was hardly a day when they did not go up to it, preferably in the long, smoky, delicious August evenings when the white moths sailed over the tansy plantation and the golden twilight faded into dusk and purple over the green slopes beyond, and fireflies lighted the globin tosses by the pond. Sometimes they played games in the Tansy Patch when Teddy and Emily somehow generally found themselves on the same side, and in no more than a match for agile, quick-witted Elsie. Sometimes Teddy took them to the barn loft and showed them his little collection of drawings. Both girls thought them very wonderful, without knowing in the least how wonderful they really were. It seemed like magic to see Teddy take a pencil and a bit of paper, and with a few quick strokes of his slim brown fingers bring out a sketch of Elsie or Emily or Smoke or Buttercup that looked ready to speak or meow. Smoke and Buttercup were the Tansy Patch cats. Buttercup was a chubby, yellow, delightful creature hardly out of kittenhood. Smoke was a big Maltese and an aristocrat from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, there's no doubt. Whatever that he belonged to the cat caste of Ver. He had emerald eyes and a coat of plush. The only right thing about him was an adorable dicky. Emily thought of all the pleasant hours spent at the Tansy Patch. The pleasantest were those when, tired with play, they all three sat on the crazy veranda steps in the mystery and enchantment of the borderland between light and dark, when the little clump of spruce behind the barn looked like beautiful dark phantom trees. The clouds of the west faded into gray, and a great round yellow moon rose over the fields to be reflected brokenly in the pond, where the wind woman was making wonderful woven lights and shadows. "Oh, isn't it good to be alive like this?" Emily said once. "Wouldn't it be dreadful if one had never lived?"